Yes. Hi and hello everyone. I hope so all of you are doing good. So welcome to another session of the Grade 9 Master Series. यहाँ पे हम next concept या कह लो topic करने जा रहे हैं in this chapter itself. So in the last few sessions we have focused on surface area and volume of cone. हमने यहाँ तक कर लिया था. But now today's agenda is that we have to look into the questions based on volume of sphere and hemisphere. ठीक है? So, if you are someone who is new to this session altogether and पता नहीं exactly ये master series क्या है, so we have this series specially for NCERT for class 9 and class 10. So, इसमें हम क्या कर रहे हैं that we are covering every chapter that we have in NCERT, and not only that, first of all, we will look into the concepts, and once we are done with that, we are looking into the NCERT के exercises. Now you might be wondering कि कहाँ helpful है exactly is काफी एंट्रेंस एग्जाम्स में मान लीजिए लेट इट बी CUET GAT और इफ यू आर वंडरिंग IMB UG में क्लास 10 की NCERT भी इंक्लूडेड है सिलेबस में. सो इट मीन्स आई फील if you guys want to just brush up your foundation concepts, this is a go-to series. So if you want to explore or attend these sessions live for class 9, it's every Monday at 7 p.m. and for class 10 it's every Friday at 7 p.m. And if you want to check out the previous sessions जो हो चुके हैं, I would suggest you कि आप channel check करिए, explore करिए CUET का career launcher channel, and in those videos if you will see आपको separate playlist ही मिल जाएगा. So there is a separate playlist for class 9 and class 10 जिसमें around 20 to 25 sessions हो चुके हैं. And they're hardly of 25 to 30 minutes. So it's not like कि काफी lengthy sessions हैं, not exactly like that. They're hardly 20 minutes. So if we are good to go, I hope so I'm properly audible and visible to all of you. Yes. So like I said, today we are going to focus on the volume of a sphere and volume of a hemisphere. So these are the two respective formulas जो आपको बस याद रखना है. In the case of a sphere, which is a complete sphere or circle, the volume is given by 4 by 3 pi r cube. But in the case of a hemisphere, we are dealing with half of that sphere. So it's like कि volume भी half हो जाएगा. So it is 2 by 3 pi r cube. Now let's watch a series of questions जिससे समझ आएगा कि what are we going to calculate. कभी कभी हम volume निकालेंगे, कभी radius निकालेंगे. Maybe the ratio of two things. So एक बार let's dive into the exercise 11.4. This is the exercise 11.4 in NCERT. Now again, if a question does not specify the value of pi, हम assume करके चलते हैं it is 22 by 7 only. But if it specifies कि हमें value 3.14 ही लेनी है, this is the approximate value जो हम लेके चलते हैं, तो हमें यही लेना पड़ेगा 3.14. So let's start with question number 1. Find the volume of a sphere whose radius is 7 centimeter. So starting off with the question 1, formula तो आपको पता ही है. Volume is what? 4 by 3. Now it's not mentioned कि मुझे 3.14 लेना है, so I'll take it 22 by 7 r cube. अब इन questions में थोड़ा सा calculation होगा. So keep your calculators या फिर आप calculator करके मुझे cross confirm करिएगा आपका भी यही answer आ रहा है. So we can cancel out 1, 7 and nothing else. So it means you have to multiply 88 and 49 and divide करना है 3 से. So this is going to be a bit calculative. So if you will observe one thing कि these questions are direct applied जिसमें formula अगर आपको पता है तो you can calculate the volume of a sphere. But sometimes GAT में indirectly भी आ जाता है that if you are having a sphere, how much water can be contained in it या stored in it if its radius is 7 centimeter. अब मैंने इसी चीज को ये बोल दिया कि कितना हम पानी डाल सकते हैं या वाटर डाल सकते हैं. सो इट सिंपली मीन्स दैट दे आर आस्किंग यू दैट व्हाट इज द वॉल्यूम. सो इट्स लाइक कि डायरेक्टली नहीं पूछा जाएगा कभी भी जीएटी में, बट घुमा फिरा के भी पूछा जा सकता है, राइट? सो कितना आ रहा है आप लोगों का आंसर? इफ यू विल से इट शुड बी अप्रोक्सीमेटली, नाउ क्योंकि हम डिवाइड कर रहे हैं 3 से, दिस शुड बी अप्रोक्सीमेटली 1437.33. अब यूनिट क्या होगा? Volume is always in cube, unit cube, है ना? Now if you will say it is in centimeter, so it has to be centimeter cube, right? So this is the very first part of this session. Now the second. सेकेंड पार्ट इज द सेम. अब मुझे रेडियस गिवन है 0.63 मीटर. पहले मुझे सेंटीमीटर में गिवन था, नाउ इट इज इन मीटर, बट द फॉर्मूला इज द सेम, 4/3 pi r cube. So 0.63 into 0.63 and again a 0.63. So first of all maybe remove that decimal. दो zeros हमने नीचे डाल दिया. Cancel out 63 with 7, cancel out 9 with 3. अब हम सिंप्लीफाई कर सकते हैं. मे बी यू कैन टेक दीज जीरोस इन द डिनोमिनेटर, कि पहले हमने मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया न्यूमरेटर को और उसके बाद हमने इन जीरो से डिवाइड भी कर दिया. सो सी हाउ मच आर यू गेटिंग. अगेन लाइक आई सेड ये थोड़ा कैलकुलेटिव होगा, सो टाइम लग सकता है. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी बहुत कम वैल्यू होने वाली है, बिकॉज दिस इज इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट, मीटर क्यूब. ठीक है. सो इफ यू विल सी इट शुड बी अप्रोक्सीमेटली 1.0478 ऐसा कुछ होगा, एंड दिस इज इन मीटर क्यूब क्योंकि ये वॉल्यूम है. बट इसे और भी अप्रोक्सीमेटली बता सकते हैं दैट दिस इज 1.05 मीटर क्यूब. कभी कभार आपको आंसर्स भी राउंडेड ऑफ फिगर में मिलेंगे, राइट. सो इट्स जनरली सेफ टू लीव योर आंसर इन 2 डेसिमल्स. उससे भी ज्यादा अगर ऑप्शंस में अवेलेबल है आप वो भी टिक कर सकते हैं. We are done with the first question जहां पे मुझे डायरेक्ट रेडियस गिवन है एंड हमने फॉर्मूला लगा दिया. Now the next question. Find the amount of water displaced by a solid spherical ball of diameter. सबसे पहले तो what you must focus is that diameter is given instead of radius. Another thing is, for instance, जैसे मेरे पास एक कंटेनर है. Okay, so this is the container in which I have water. Okay, so there is some water. Now आपको एक चीज ये समझनी है कि if मैं एक solid sphere इसमें गिरा रही हूँ, if I'm throwing a solid sphere in it, first of all it might float, it might sink, कुछ भी situation हो सकता है, but it is given out to be solid. So it is going to be made up of iron या किसी भी material का बना हो. So definitely it's going to sink down inside the given container. अब जब ये sink down होगा, definitely पानी का level rise होगा, right? The level of the water is going to rise. Now, how much is it going to rise is actually hidden in the given question itself. So it will be equal to the volume of your sphere. अब मैंने बोला था कि GAT में यही concepts आते हैं. अगर same question आ गया होता, so you must know that they are just asking you the volume of the given sphere equal to the volume of sphere. So it means यहाँ पे मुझे diameter given है, you can definitely calculate the radius, and radius से हम जो भी volume निकालेंगे that is equal to the volume displaced. Displaced मतलब कितना पानी ऊपर हो रहा है. What is the rise in the level of water in your given container? So first part, radius is 28/2 or 14 centimeter. 14 centimeter आ गया. So now let's quickly calculate that what is the volume. 4/3 pi r cube. Now see जितना calculate हो सकता है cancel out कर सकते हैं. We are cancelling 14 with 7 and now I cannot cancel anything as such. So ये भी आंसर आपका decimal में आएगा. So if you are going to do the calculation from your side, आप pause कर सकते हैं वीडियो को. Definitely if you're watching it after this session, it should be approximately 11,498.6 centimeter cube क्योंकि मुझे सेंटीमीटर में गिवन था. Okay, so this is the answer for the first particular question. So it means इतना level मेरा rise हो जाएगा, but this is in terms of centimeter cube. Now the next thing is question number 2. इसमें मुझे meters में given है that my radius is 0.21 divided by 2 meters. So it means my radius is 0.21 divided by 2. Now what about the volume? 4/3 pi r cube. Again the same thing. Now it's up to you. If you want to remove the decimal, आप 2 zeros denominator में रख सकते हैं. So this is around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 zeros in total. जो cancel out हम कर सकते हैं वो कर लेते हैं. 4 cancel कर दिया. This is with 3. 3 is also cancelled. So it means हम यहाँ पे भी कर सकते हैं 11. So 11 into 21 into 21 divided by, this is approximately 10 lakhs. So again, this is going to be very small क्योंकि denominator इतना बड़ा है. So divide this and see कि approximately आपका आएगा 0.004851 meter cube. See, in this case मुझे 2 डेसिमल वैल्यू से ज्यादा जाना पड़ रहा है क्योंकि I cannot stop right over 0.00. मुझे उसके आगे भी जानना है कि क्या वैल्यू है. So it is going to be 0.0048 तक आप you can stop, but this is going to be in terms of meter cube. And this question is also done. So this was based on the water displaced. Now coming to the next question. If you will see, the next question is, the diameter is given to me and they are asking us कि mass क्या होगा if the density is 8.9 gram per meter centimeter cube. Now if you remember what is the definition of density is, density किसी भी चीज का is defined as mass of that particular item and volume of that particular item that you're dealing with. So in this case, it is a metallic ball. Metallic ball means it is a sphere. Now the density is given out to be 8.9. This is equal to mass. तो मुझे पता ही नहीं है. But do I know the volume? Volume I can calculate. Volume is definitely equal to the volume of sphere. Now what is the radius? Radius is, मुझे diameter given है, so the radius is going to be 2.1. So 4 by 3 pi r cube. 4.2 divided by 2, 4.2 divided by 2 or 4.2 divided by 2. You can consider 2.1 directly and calculate कर सकते हैं. So this is my volume. अब volume को अगर मैं सीधा multiply ही कर देती हूँ यहाँ पे, then I'll get my mass. So mass is equal to 0.9 into, if you will calculate this ना, volume आपका approximate आएगा 38.808. ठीक है? So this volume is going to be in centimeter cube. And now calculating the mass, we have the density and the volume. I'm going to substitute this value back here. And it's not necessary कि पहले volume आप find करेंगे and then value substitute करेंगे. It's totally up to you कि मैं mass को 8.9 multiplied by यही calculation को मैं यहाँ लिख के further solve कर सकते हैं. That's totally open to you. So this answer is, अब ये दोनों को आपको multiply करना पड़ेगा. Like I said, this is going to be a bit calculative, but this is approximately 345.3912. And this is going to be in grams because density क्या है? Gram per centimeter cube multiplied by centimeter cube. जो denominator में centimeter cube है वो cancel हो जाएगा मेरा centimeter cube से. The only unit is gram here. So it means जो mass है इस metallic ball का, it is approximately this much. So इसमें we have made use of two formulas, specifically the volume of a sphere and the density also. How many liters of milk can a hemispherical bowl of diameter 10.5 centimeter hold? So in this case सबसे पहले तो keywords highlight कर लेते हैं. Hemisphere है, हमारे पास diameter है. So how many liters can it hold? It's obvious कि volume पे based question है. The capacity to hold is nothing but the volume. Now hemisphere का formula क्या है? 2 by 3 pi r cube. Do you know the radius? Yes. Radius is 10.5 divided by 2 and इसी को मुझे substitute करना है to get my final answer. So 2 by 3 multiplied by 22 by 7 multiplied by 10.5 into 2, 10.5 by 2, and again I am repeating the same thing, 10.5 by 2. Now this is going to be a bit calculative. अब decimal हटा सकते हैं यहाँ पे. So 1 0 will come in the denominator and this is what you have to simplify further. Maybe cancel this 2 with 20. This will be 10. You can cancel out 7 with 105. This is going to be 15. और ये भी चला जाएगा आपका 3 से. Now after solving all of this, आपका final answer again decimal में आएगा and this should be approximately how much? 303.1875. So this is the approximate value after the division, and my answer is going to be in centimeter cube, क्योंकि centimeters में मुझे radius given था, right? So this is the answer, and if you want your answer in liters, 1 centimeter cube, or sorry, 1000 centimeter cube is 1 liter, तो मुझे divide करना पड़ेगा इसको 1000 से, then I'll get my answer in liters, which is 0.303 liters. Okay, so because मुझे liters में पूछा गया था, so I had to convert it into liters, but apart from that, this calculation is done. Now the next one. A hemispherical tank is made up of an iron sheet, and it is of thickness 1 centimeter. So for instance, एक ऐसा, I'm drawing it in an inverted shape, even though it's a tank, but just to explain कि thickness का क्या use है यहाँ पे, I'm going to make use it in the inverted form. For instance, the thickness is 1 centimeter, so this is what it will look like. And जब आप radius consider करोगे, the main problem is कि मेरे पास जो top view है, if I'm watching this from the top, it should look something like this. This is my base, जो circular base है, यहाँ पे ये thickness है जो 1 centimeter है, and it is going to be uniform. ठीक है, don't go or focus on the drawing much. It's not a proper circle, but still, the thickness is 1 centimeter, and the inner radii is 1 meter. The units are different, so focus कि एक चीज मुझे thickness जो है centimeter में given है, and the inner radii is 1 meter. So effective जो radii है वो generally क्या होगा, 1 meter plus 1 centimeter. I can only add two values if they are in the same unit. 1 divided by 100, now this is converted into meter. So this is equal to 1.01 meter. So the total effective जो radius है, including the inner thickness, it is going to be 1.01 meter. Now coming to the concept of volume. Whenever the concept of thickness is involved, या किसी भी question में thickness involved है, first of all hemisphere पे based है, so it is going to be 2 by 3 pi r cube. But now in this question, like I said, we have the concept of thickness, so it is going to be 2 by 3 pi r1 cube minus r2 cube. So r1 cube is the effective जो total है, r2 is the thickness, only the thickness जो हमारे पास है, sorry, inner radii, right? So effective minus जो inner radii है उसका difference मुझे volume देगा. So it means what I'm trying to say is 2 by 3 pi, मेरे पास effective क्या है, 1.01 cube minus if inner क्या है 1. So this is the calculation that I have to do to get my volume. और ये हम क्यों कर रहे हैं, it's pretty obvious, मैं logic भी बता देती हूँ. If I'm considering the volume of this hemisphere, मैं thickness तो या radius तो 1.01 नहीं consider करूंगी, because thickness की वजह से कुछ amount of the volume of जो iron है उसमें effect पड़ेगा. So it means just to avoid that, I need to subtract my volume which is used in the thickness as well, right? So अब ये मुझे calculate करना पड़ेगा to get my final answer, and like I said, this is going to be in decimals again, क्योंकि I am subtracting 1 from 1.01 cube. So this should be approximately 0.06348 and meter cube में answer होगा, because I converted everything in meters. So this is what my answer should look like. Now let's move on to the next one. What is the volume of a sphere whose surface area is 154? If you guys remember, surface area of sphere क्या होता है, 4 pi r square, and it is given to me 4 pi r square is equal to 154. So r square क्या हो जाएगा, 154 divided by 4 pi, and now I'm substituting the value of pi as 22 by 7 because it is not specified कि मुझे 3.14 ही लेना है. So this goes with 7, so this is 49 by 4. If I want to remove the square, मुझे under root डालना पड़ेगा, 49 by 4 और 7 by 2 centimeter is the radius. So surface area देने का reason ये है so that I can calculate the radius, and now the radius is known, I can finally calculate the volume, which is 4 by 3 pi r cube. And if you are going to do the calculation, let me know in the chat कि क्या आ रहा है आंसर. ये 2 भी हम कैंसिल कर सकते हैं 4 के साथ. So 11 into 49 by 3. And this is approximately 179.66. कुछ इतना आएगा. And it is going to be in centimeter cube. क्योंकि मुझे रेडियस ये सेंटीमीटर में गिवन है. So I hope so the main use of the surface area is clear कि हमने उससे रेडियस निकाला है, हमने उसे वॉल्यूम वाले फंक्शन में सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दिया. Now let's look into the next question. ये इंटरेस्टिंग है कि GAT में भी आ सकता है that if I am having 27 solid iron spheres. So मेरे पास 27 छोटे छोटे iron spheres हैं which is having the radius. So let's write हमें क्या given है. Now in this case the radius is R and surface area जो है S से. Let's keep it as capital S. And जो newly formed बना है. So हमने इसको melt कर दिया. We have melted all the 27 ये जो small spheres है into a bigger sphere. And can you guys think कि next statement क्या होगी which I am going to say? क्या होगी? That the volume of these 27 spheres is going to be equal to the volume of the bigger one. सब combine करके ही एक बड़ा sphere बन रहा है. So it means that if we can say volume of 27 sphere is equal to the volume of the one bigger one जो हमने अभी बनाया है. So 27 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Now we know that the radius of the smaller one is, जिसको हम r मान लेते हैं, r cube. This is equal to 4 by 3 pi r square, r cube. इसको मैं r1 मान लेती हूँ. This is going to be cube. And if you will observe, I can cancel two things, 4 by 3 and pi. Now what about the ratio of r to the power 3 divided by r1 to the power 3 which is equal to 1 by 27. So इससे मैं ये बता सकती हूँ that r by r1, the ratio of this radius of the smaller spheres with that of the bigger one is equal to 1 by 3 to the power 3 to the whole power 1 by 3. So I can cancel out जो 3 है. So it means the ratio is equal to 1 by 3. So what can I say? जो r है that is equal to, if I am taking this over to the other side, so it is going to be r1 by 3. So it means the relationship है between the two, you can say that the bigger, जो bigger sphere का radius है, it is 3 times of the smaller one, or you can say it other way around कि जो radius है smaller वाले का वो bigger वाले से 1/3 होगा. So both ways you can imply, but because they are asking us the radius r, so r is equal to r1 by 3. And we are done with this part. But now what about the ratio? Ratio कैसे हम निकाल सकते हैं? So I'll erase this part. Ratio of s by s dash. This is equal to what? 4 pi r square. I'm just making use of the surface area of a given sphere, which is 4 pi r square. 4 pi r1 square. So 4 और pi तो cancel ही हो गया. And I can say r by r1 whole square. And what was the ratio of it? R by R1 जो है मेरे पास, the bigger one, okay, smaller one is equal to R1 by 3, or R by R1 is equal to 1 by 3. So it means this is the square of 1 by 3. So eventually मेरे पास क्या आंसर आ गया? 1 by 9. So it means the ratio of S and S dash is 1 by 9. Okay. So both ways हमने कर दिया है. We have calculated that what is the radius looking like, and जो ratio है वो भी हमने find कर दिया. Now the final question for today is, a capsule of medicine is in the shape of a sphere. So now just remember कि capsule of medicine हमें mentioned है कि shape is in sphere. Generally we have this misconception कि अगर कोई भी कैप्सूल होगा, इट इज बेसिकली अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ 2 स्फेयर्स एंड अ सिलेंडर. अगर कुछ मेंशन नहीं होता तो मे बी हमें यही लेना पड़ता, बट इट इज मेंशन कि स्फेयर में है, सो हम ये एज्यूम नहीं करेंगे. Now the radius is 3.5 by 2 because मुझे diameter given है. Now what is the medicine required to fill in this capsule? It's nothing but capacity to hold, मतलब volume होता है. So it means volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Now again this is going to be a bit calculative. So जल्दी से आप calculate करके मुझे बताइए that what is the final answer looking like. So it is going to be in decimals. So decimals में final answer आएगा and it is going to be in millimeter cube. So कोई conversion की requirement नहीं है, final answer ही आपका millimeter cube में आएगा. So let's solve this down. So this goes with 5 and 5 and 2 से चला जाएगा. So it means you have to multiply 11 with 3.5 divided by 6. So ये थोड़ा सा calculative है, but approximate जो decimal में value आपके आने चाहिए आप cross check करिएगा after my solution is done. 22.45 millimeter cube. This should be the answer. Generally जब भी आप आंसर बताते हो decimal में, on the left hand side ये जो values है आपके पक्का match करने चाहिए, and after that on the right hand side at least 2 decimal values should match. ठीक है? And like I said, this is the last question and हमने काफी variety के देखे हैं. Displacement of water पे देखा है, conversion of one और a multiple set of solid spheres into bigger sphere भी हमने देख लिया. So काफी interesting questions हमने देखे हैं. One based on thickness, ऐसे questions आ सकते हैं आपके GAT के पेपर में. Yeah. So that is it from my side. In the next session, we will start the next chapter, which is statistics. हमने पूरा complete कर लिया है surface area and volume. So if you guys have any doubts or queries, definitely write it down in the chat section. And that is it for today. So thank you so much, everyone. Feel free to subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.